let's see what's going on. I was seeing someone when I sat and took a second who was walking down a dark hallway, and it was in the way that in a dream a hallway goes on forever and there is a dark door at the end, or I'm even seeing the door has light around it, and yet there is still a foreboding feeling around it, like there's something secret behind the door which is perhaps not meant to be revealed at any other time than like a very specific time. And so there may have been something in your childhood that had to be locked away. I mean, very classically, I think we all have something like that. And in fact, if there isn't anything locked away, if there are no secrets, it's very difficult to have or find a really fulfilling timeline as an adult, which is kind of wild. But specifically intimacy is something that I'm hearing here. Yeah, grounding, which is kind of cool. I think that there either has been, or there will be, or this is just a message about how grounding yourself in your adult body or like your older body is what will allow you to, even in dreams, even in spiritual spaces, open up doors and find something that at one point it was a secret. And it's kind of like, I'm envisioning like, so this door opens and behind the door is like a teddy bear, and the teddy bear has like bandages on it or something, or it's something secret or safe. I'm seeing also like a bird's feather, like a crow feather, like maybe a child would have found this on the ground and it would have been representative of something or of that day. Or I'm seeing, like a black feather is kind of like a dark angel, something like that, where it was a trauma at the time, but it wound up being a gift which allowed a greater understanding of the universal truths, that kind of thing. And so as long as you are in a body which has had the brain expanded, like literally the maze, you've walked the maze, the pathways through that, and there is a deeper comprehension of your own consciousness, you are safe to return to these potentially they're older traumatic events, and you will see they're actually not traumatic anymore. They are like kindling. It was like the starter or something like that. A match was lit, something like that. But it's important to return to it again in order to close that loop and then move on, because it is not true that our entire life long we spend on the same plot line. We do change quite a bit, and it is also based specifically on the timing of your body. There's a lot of, I'm feeling a lot of, even this like, so Taurus is the bull. Taurus, are we in Taurus season right now? I think so, actually. Yeah, maybe that's what you're doing in Taurus season. Respecting the body's ability to maintain itself in magical realms, and without the body there would not be any magical experiences in this specific way. So everything that happens to you is a thing that can only happen to a human being because you are a human being. So even your expression of and expansive expanse into divinity is in the way that a human would do it, in such a way that like if you were a cat or a dog or another animal, you would only be able to experience divinity in that specific way. Cool. And so it's kind of like, well, respect the spacesuit here, because the spacesuit is what's necessary in order to go into space. And if you neglect it, it will create, or there is not enough experience for the wisdom that you need. Wisdom is kind of a protector because, again, it expands your brain. It literally changes and shapes who you physically are. There will be in dreams experiences that you can have in order to allow you to return again and just like wrap it up. Like wrap it up and move on to something a little bit different. And there's even something, severing, or not sever, it's like leaving home, something like that. Lovers in partnership. You have to leave your childhood home in order to enter into the home of your spouse. I'm also seeing kind of as like you have to leave like your parents' bed, right? Like being cozy with them in order to enter the marital bed. And it's a totally different thing to have parents than to be a parent. And so seeing the other side of all of that, that's like a full circle moment. And it is possible that maybe there is a lover around. What's really interesting here is like, so this card is lovers in partnership, but there's a singular person here. And there's almost like the wisps of people coming in, of maybe like suitors or other relationships that she's engaged with, like ghosts. And I think that a part of this is about engaging with the ghosts of the past in order to lay them to rest, to actually, in order to, again, also even to have them see you as you are now. And this isn't like maybe literally them, you know, maybe some people have passed on, or maybe you're not talking to them, but it's important to return to that time and that trauma or those memories and respect it and release it in some way that feels fulfilling to you. Open the door in the dream, walk through this hallway that is scary because you're bigger now. This is your house. This is the house that you and your family that you created have. And you don't have to feel guilty about leaving your family home, because this is by design. We must always leave our family home. There is something, there's a completely different path to not leaving the family home. Sometimes it doesn't have like, or you know, moving on in some way. Sometimes people can't do that, but that's not the case here. You will be able to move on from the past. And the card that, this is exciting, the card that flipped out is opportunity. You might be saying to me like, I would love to leave the past in the past. Like, I would love to return to these memories, a triumphant individual who is able to, you know, honor myself in the journey I have been on, etc., etc. How am I going to do that? There's going to be an opportunity to do so. There's going to be an opening of a door and an ability to turn around and say, this is where I came from and this is where I'm going. Where I came from, where I'm going, please meet. You are both beloved to me. And I'm also seeing there might be, I'm Irish, so, you know, Irish heritage. There's the hands clasped. I can see that, as well as the place where you came from and the place where you're going. You know, this might not be your tradition, but there was, you know, at one point, the tradition of the father passing over the daughter to the husband for, you know, safekeeping, essentially, for her to join his family. And there's also something about that. So you don't have to believe in that. That doesn't have to be your thing. But if you do believe in that kind of lineage, that's also coming up here. I'm seeing this snake here, as this is the year of the snake. This is the year of this opportunity, and it has to do with your body. Sometimes it's time is up. You're physically living for a certain amount of time. You know, you don't even have to do anything. Your brain is always forming, growing, changing things. And sometimes there's just a certain year of your life, either astrologically or, you know, something will literally physically happen to you. And there's like a ding, okay. Because I'm seeing the snake as your spine. And your spinal column and like your nervous system and your brain and all of that is connected. And so it's saying year of the snake is time for this opportunity. It's time to move on to having lovers and partnership. And it's because of the grounding in your body. Your body is ready. Remember, you are a human animal, and a human animal is really expecting and hoping to like have a life of their own. They want to have a family, they want to have babies, you know, that kind of thing. And it's like, okay, this is time. And I'm even seeing on the clock a couple of numbers that I see. So like 919, 916 we had just passed. Whenever I see those numbers, it's kind of like we're at the end of a cycle. You're at the end of the wheel. It's like time's up kind of thing. And but it's in a respectful way of like, look now, this is the last look essentially at that thing. So Yeah. Oh, cool. Okay. And then we have longevity. I think if you're feeling right now, like, because this is the end of maybe childhood, or this is the end of just something you've been doing for a long time. I mean, like, this is like a really long cycle, something that is, I mean, I can't even, yeah, that's what I mean. It's just like a very long cycle, maybe even your entire life. It's just never been addressed, or it's something as momentous as getting married, leaving the family home, something like that, like a really big deal. The longevity here is like, your life is not over just because your youth is over, or your life is not over just because that relationship is over. Your life is not over just because you're leaving your family home, that kind of thing, or your hometown, something like that. There is a lot. There's a long life ahead of you. There is longevity, and a person who is extremely wise guides you. And this is your higher self. It's who you ultimately become at the end of this path. I see that they're very serene and very matter of fact as well. Very much like, they have to do this. This is the time that I did that. This is the time that I left. And I can even see you later in life thinking about this time now and being like, yeah, that's when it all changed. And I love that she is even green like the snake. So this is the time when the opportunity, year of the snake, is ultimately what she's cloaked in. It's a defining characteristic. It's what makes her. Whew. Cool. What is it? Do we know more about this thing? It'll be different for everybody. I mean, there's, you know, this is public. We're on the internet here. If you want a private reading, though, I've got this. Good you up. Yeah, this is like this is a great card to end on. God of Wealth. Yeah, I think that opportunity, having everything that you want, or getting what you've been working on, is sometimes a little bit scary, because you're like, oh my God, I didn't think this was gonna happen, or something like that. This is the master of the house, the keeper of the keys. You know, what's that? Is there some musical that's like that? Master of the house. Da, 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 da. Is that Les Mis? I don't know. If you've got a Les Mis reference, this is for you. But anyway, so you're becoming the master of the house. You're in a new household. This is a new place that is entirely yours. And it's okay. I don't even really particularly see you dwelling on where you came from in the past, as soon as you are a part of this new beginning. And I'm going to just pull two. This was the bottom of the deck, and this one was on the top. Let me see. Let's do this one. Yeah, you're walking away, and the bottom of the deck energy was moon to a mysterious new adventure. Being guided by the heart and the light of the moon. Brilliant. I love it. Fantastic. Have fun.